The Trump administration is suspending visitor visas for Gazans. And while that is unsurprising and unfortunate, I think the most unfortunate part about that is seemingly why this happened. So let's get into it. One day after conspiracy theorist Laura Loomer complained about visas being given to Gazans, the State Department announced that they were suspending visitor visas to those from the war torn area. In her post, she claimed the NGOs, Gazans, um, quote, are affiliated with the Muslim Brotherhoods and funded by Qatar to help bring Palestinian Gazans to the United States. The State Department wrote in a post on X on Saturday, quote, all visitor visas for individuals from Gaza are being stopped while we conduct a full and thorough review of the process and procedures used to issue a small number of temporary medical humanitarian visas in recent days. Based on the State Department statistics from January 2025 through the end of May 2025, a total of 3,804 Class B1 and B2 visas have been issued for individuals with Palestinian Authority travel documents. While the State Department numbers do not specify the purpose of the trips, nor how many of the 3,804 visas issued were Class B1 or B2, individuals seeking to enter the United States for tourism or medical treatment fall under the B2 visa class, while B1 visas cover business travel. Loomer's target was the US-based charity Heal Palestine, which said that they helped 11 critically wounded children from Gaza safely enter the US. It was the largest single medical evacuation of injured children from Gaza to the US, the charity said on its website. Truly unacceptable, Laura Loomer wrote in another X post. Someone needs to be fired at the State Department when Marco Rubio figures out who approved the visas. Qatar transported these Gazans into the U.S. via Qatar Airways. Oh, speaking of Qatar, your boy got a $400 million private jet from them, speaking of Qatar. But I guess that's, info for another story. Qatar is literally flooding our country with jihadis. So, there's a couple things to focus on when it comes to this. Now, like I said before, this is very unsurprising in terms of Donald Trump and his administration. And above anything else, it's just a reflection of the Trump administration's desperate attempt to keep all Black and brown immigrants out of here. Um, 11 children. That's how much we're talking about. This sent Laura Loomer into a frenzy. 11 children from a war-torn country where they're being starved, where their families are being slaughtered, massacred in front of them before they're even old enough to understand what that means or old enough to have even had a childhood in the first place. 11 people is what's sending Laura Loomer over the edge about this. And the fact that Laura Loomer is influencing political and government activity obviously is a concern, but of course she is. Look at who else is in Donald Trump's administration. Pete Hegseth, Dr. Oz, these TV characters. Pete Hegseth the other day who was saying, women shouldn't be allowed to vote. Let's go ahead and take that away. Let's take away women's suffrage. And the reality of just that we can make this country white again when it really was never all white in the first place. When Europeans first came over here, there were millions and millions and millions of Native Americans. And as Europeans came over here, the slave trade brought in many, many Black bodies. This has never been an all-white country. Has there been a white majority, especially as the Native American population has decreased? Yes. But there's nothing that you can do about this. It's not going to change. As I mentioned before, over the weekend, I was in a town called Santa Paula. It's about an hour and a half away from LA. I was there doing some work, and it was just a straight farm community, where they grow lemons and peppers and a lot of other citrus. And there's monuments that are set apart to honor the farmers who literally feed the planet. That's who the Trump administration is going after. It's people who literally keep the economy afloat, the lemons, the citrus that you eat, whether it's from here, whether it's from Mexico. And then the idea that we got to get, Latinos out of California, out of Colorado, out of Arizona, all of these places that used to be Mexico, so there's no wonder that you have so many brown immigrants here, but this used to be Mexico. So it's just an effort that's in vain. there's no stopping the browning of this country from happening. But the fact that Laura Loomer is influencing this, I think really just goes to show that we're in for absolute hell for the next 3 years. What do you think, Sharon?
I think Miss Loomer has an overload of white privilege. I think she's got white privilege intoxication, so much so that she's bored. Everything she demands and stomps her feet and, says, do it now, it's done. So she's bored. So 11 children are now what she's focused on because she's running. It's like, have you ever, and I've never been turned on by this kind of mate, but you date someone and they just are so infatuated with you, they'll do whatever. How boring is that? This is what's going on with her. She is overloaded with, she's actually intoxicated with white privilege and she's running out of people to target. Soon she'll head to New York City. They'll have plastic straws again, I guess. If that's what she wants, it'll happen. Okay. It's just whatever nuttiness she wants, that's what's going to happen. White after Labor Day? Sure. If that's what she wants. So it's really sad to me that we have all of these, I don't know if you call them whack jobs, but I will. You have the Kennedy outcast who won't keep his shirt on, bathes in sewage, and was out jogging with Dr. Oz the other day. Okay. He's erasing the vaccine schedule after he said he wouldn't. You have Hegseth, who I don't know what's going on there, but his mom wrote the letter. Okay. You have Tulsi, who is going against all the intelligence. Isn't she the leader of it? It's just wackadoodle do. Okay. All of this is wackadoodle do. And Miss Loomer is doing more damage, it seems, from all of them combined from the outside. And they're letting her do it. America, look at your life. And let's get an antidote if we can for white privilege, because I'm telling you, she's drunk with it. And it's really, really alarming.
Yeah, she's absolutely drunk with it. And, again, we're talking about an organization helping 11 children. It's just the callousness and as we always say, cruelty really is the point. But that's why we really gotta, rise up, come together, organize, really focus on the local level, like I'm always preaching, and do what we can. But yeah, that's just really unfortunate that people like Laura Loomer are calling the shots in the Trump administration.